So you're starting a business in Nepal. That's fantastic. But right out of the gate, you've got this massive choice to make. Are you going to be a cooperative or are you going to be a company? And let me tell you, this isn't just about paperwork. It's about choosing the very soul of your enterprise. You've got the big idea, you've got the passion, and you are ready to build. But hold on, what's the legal engine you're going to put in this thing? Answering that question correctly right from day one is honestly one of the most critical decisions you will ever make. I want you to think of this choice not as just a registration, but more like a tale of two completely different paths. On one side, you have the cooperative, which is the path of community. And on the other, you've got the company, the path of capital. And whichever one you pick is going to define pretty much everything that comes next. Okay, let's really dive into this. The entire legal design of each of these structures comes down to one core philosophical difference. A cooperative is built on something called mutuality. Its whole reason for being is to provide a direct benefit, economic or social, to its members. A company, on the other hand, is built to do one thing: generate a return for its investors, its shareholders. And that single distinction, that's the key to understanding everything else. So let's take a walk down that first path, shall we? Let's explore the cooperative, a structure designed from the ground up, from its very DNA to serve its members and their community. Here are the nuts and bolts of a co-op. It's all governed by a specific law, the Cooperatives Act of 2074. But the big idea here is democratic control. One member, one vote. It literally doesn't matter how much money you've put in, you get one vote. This is why this structure is so perfect for groups like savings and credit unions or agricultural producer co-ops, where the goal is always the collective benefit of the group, not just making one person rich. And this gets to the very foundation of it all. There's a legal requirement to have a minimum number of members. That's not just some technical rule. It's proof that cooperatives are fundamentally about community and taking action together. They're designed for groups, not for a lone entrepreneur looking for venture capital. Okay, now let's cross over to that other path, the company. This is a structure that is engineered for a completely different purpose. We're talking commercial growth, we're talking scale, and we are talking about attracting outside investment. The company model, well, it operates on a completely different logic. It's governed by the Companies Act of 2063, and its core principle is control by shareholding. The more shares you own, the more votes you have. It's that simple. And its primary goal is crystal clear: generate profit for the shareholders. This is the go-to model for commercial trading, manufacturing, and especially for bringing in foreign direct investment, or FDI. Now, here's the crucial point. Professional investors need a system they understand, one that protects their capital and gives them a say that's proportional to their investment. A company's vote per share structure provides exactly that. This is precisely why, for any venture that's planning to raise serious outside cash, the company isn't just an option, it's almost always the required choice. All right, we've explored both paths. Now, let's put them right next to each other and see how they stack up in a direct, head-to-head comparison of the legal differences. This table lays it all out. Just look at the contrast. For ownership, you've got members who actually use the service versus shareholders who just invest. And voting, the democratic one member, one vote versus vote per share. Even profits are handled differently. Cooperatives might give out patronage refunds, which means profits go back to members based on how much they use the co-op. Companies, on the other hand, pay dividends based on how many shares you own. Every single aspect is just wired differently. If you take away just one thing from all this, let it be this right here. In a cooperative, power is democratic. It lies with the community of members, and each of them gets an equal say. In a company, power is tied to investment. It lies with the shareholders, and control can get concentrated with whoever owns the most equity. And the exact same thing goes for money. A cooperative's finances are all about member benefit and building up community reserves. A company's finances, they're geared towards shareholder dividends and reinvesting for commercial growth, which of course increases the value of those shares. These are two totally different financial philosophies. So with all this information, how in the world do you actually choose? Let's make this really practical now and figure out which of these two paths truly fits your specific vision. Here's a simple 3-step framework to guide you. First, ask yourself, what is my primary goal? Is it to serve a community or to achieve rapid commercial growth? Second, where's the money going to come from? Is it going to be funded by members or do I need to be ready for outside investors? And third, how do we want decisions to be made? democratic vote, or shareholder control? Your answers to these questions are going to point you clearly to one structure over the other. Let's get even more specific. This is your checklist for the cooperative path. You should choose a cooperative if your core mission is all about community benefit. Choose it if that one member, one vote principle is an absolutely non-negotiable value for you, or if you're building a venture for producers or consumers to help themselves. And it's also the better structure if you plan on seeking social financing or donor funds. And here's the checklist for the company path. Choose a company if your plan involves raising equity from outside investors, especially from abroad. Go this route if your goal is to scale up and scale up fast. If you need sophisticated financial tools, and this is a big one, if providing clear, legally enforceable protections for those investors is a top priority for you. So, as we wrap all this up, the single most important message is this: the legal structure is not the starting point. Your business blueprint, your vision, that has to come first. The consequences of getting this wrong are very, very real. Trying to force an investor-driven model into a cooperative structure, that will lead to endless fights over control. And trust me, trying to tell a venture capital fund that their multi-million-dollar investment gets the same single vote as every other member, well, that conversation is not going to go very far. And this quote just captures the final takeaway perfectly. You have to choose the vehicle that fits the economics and governance you want, because law follows design, not the other way around. Don't pick a legal structure and then try to force your business into it. First, you design the business you want, its economic engine, its power structure, and only then do you choose the legal vehicle that was built for that specific journey. The law should serve your design, not dictate it. So that just leaves one final question, and this one is for you to answer. You see, the choice isn't really cooperative versus company. The real choice is about what you want to build. So what will your business blueprint be?